Hello and welcome to the Freedom Frequency Podcast. I'm your host, Kaya, energy healer, psychic channel, and spiritual mentor for women who are ready to ditch the spiritual rulebook, release the pressure and overwhelm, and let go of all that comparison that makes you feel like what you're doing isn't enough. In this podcast, I'm going to share bits of my journey with you, as well as my wisdom and knowledge to show you that spirituality gets to be something that works for you and not something that you work for. Now let's dive into today's episode. Hello. I am so excited for this little nugget episode. I'm kind of in the vibes lately of I just have a little nugget to share, and I don't want it to be this whole 20-minute episode. Not that that's that long, but I feel like I have a lot of little 10-minute nuggets, and I love consuming content like that myself, so I hope you do too. Quick, potent, to the point. So today, what's really coming through that I want to share with you is around manifestation and letting go of a little bit of control over how something is going to manifest. So this is something I see a lot. This is something that I have experienced a lot of myself, is let's set the scene. Let's set the scene, and you tell me if this sounds a little bit too familiar. So you're manifesting something, right? There's something that you want. I know you're thinking about it right now. There's something that you've just been desiring for quite a little bit of time. Maybe it's a certain income goal in your business. Maybe it's a relationship that feels really good. Maybe it's your dream house or your dream car, whatever it is for you, you're manifesting this thing. And in that, we're often told in, the manifestation and spiritual spaces, visualize having this thing, visualize how you got it, visualize the version of you, and embody the version of you who has what you desire. All these things are great. But what I see gets blurred kind of in the lines here is that a lot of us like to kind of think about in our, imagination and visualization and stuff, how could this happen for me? And this can be a really fun game, is how could this manifestation come in? And when we're playing this game from the lens of there's many possibilities, it can be so great because it really shows us that there are possibilities. But where I see people getting really stuck is from narrowing it down to one. So this, I feel is, if you're a business owner, this is going to probably ring way too true, is you want 10K months, you want 20K months, whatever it is. And you have certain offers out and you're okay, great. So all I need to do is sell 2 of my one-to-one packages, and one of those people is going to pay in full. And then I need to sell X amount for my program. And then this on my passive masterclass or whatever. Or maybe you're manifesting a relationship. You're manifesting your dream soulmate human. And in that, you're okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, get my my profile all set up on I don't even know, Bumble or whatever people are using these days. I have no idea. Whatever, you're going to get your profile set up. You're going to just spend so much time looking for the right guy, holding your standards in the online dating space. And when we start to really narrow down the process, we actually start closing off the other possibilities. So let's take the dating example, is if you're I'm going to put all my energy into this Bumble account and talking to people and really giving them a chance and blah blah blah. Maybe you're actually spending so much time doing that you actually put off a social gathering or something that your friend invited you to where you would have met this guy, or you didn't go to the coffee shop where you would have met him, or you didn't do XYZ, whatever it is. Or maybe it's not that you didn't go somewhere, but it's just that you weren't open to the possibility of that, right? Of meeting someone in person. Or it could be the other way around. Maybe you're I want to meet someone naturally in person. I don't want to meet someone online. But it's if you had been open to that possibility, if that could have been aligned for you instead of just shutting it down, that could have been how you met them. And then going back to the business example, it's we want to track where all these things can come from in our business to meet this income goal or whatever it is. But what if that was not even the case? Like, what if it came through in a completely different way? Like, what if somebody messaged you and they were like, hey, like, you know, are you open to creating a custom package for me? And it would be like the entire 10 or 20K or whatever. Like, you just never know. And I feel like when we start to get into like the how is this going to happen and like start to create logic out of it, we start to take the magic out of manifestation. And of course, it's a balance of the two. Like, I definitely think that like manifestation is logical and it's science, but then it's also a little bit of magic, right? Like, it's magical science. But what I really see here is like people get so caught up in the like, this is how it's going to happen, like, and they focus on that one thing. And it's our way of like keeping control over the situation, right? Because it's really uncomfortable to like let go of control and like surrender. But when we're holding on so tight to the control, we're like siphoning the gas kind of thing, right? And we're not actually allowing like the full flow to come through. And like, would you be mad if it came through in a different way? Of course not. You got what you wanted, right? So this is when we come back to the idea of like, what if instead of saying like, oh, this is how I want it to come, like I want, I'm going to manifest $10,000 that I need for this thing or whatever. Like maybe you want to go on a trip and you're like, I'm going to manifest this $10,000 I need for my dream European vacation next summer. And it's going to come through my business or my job. I'm going to get a bonus or whatever. And then like you're so focused on that you close yourself off to any other opportunity that it could come through, like somebody giving you that money or like, you know, just it manifesting like seemingly out of nowhere. And when we start to play into these possibilities on purpose, then we start to really open up our eyes and have a different perspective on like, okay, so like there are multiple ways that I could manifest this thing. And then it also helps you to see like, when you start to look at all the different ways something could happen instead of being so focused on one, it starts to seem more possible. Like when you get away from like, this is going to happen through this way, and then you're so focused on like the one path, and instead you're like, oh, like I could get $10,000 through this way in my business, that way in my business, or somebody could gift me some money. I could, you know, sell some stuff online and get more than I thought I would for it. I could like get like, you know, this random one-off client for something that's like unexpected. Like, you know, I could do whatever, like, and you just start to open your mind to different possibilities. Or like the dating example, like if you start to think like, okay, maybe I'll sign up for a couple dating sites, and like not to just be on them all the time, like desperate, but like, you know, just have some options. I'm going to make sure that I'm like, you know, going out to social gatherings that feel aligned for me, like really tuning into like, do I want to go to this? I got invited, like it might be a good opportunity to meet someone. Like, and when you start to open yourself up to like, wow, there's like 10 or 20 ways that this could manifest for me, it starts to feel a lot less like, oh, there's no way that's going to happen. I'm just manifesting this, but like probably not going to happen. And it starts to turn into like, oh my gosh, like this might actually happen for me. Like there's so many ways this could happen. And like when you're open to that, you're open to receiving. And you're open to the possibilities of the magic behind it and the unexpected. And you're really allowing the universe to provide it in the way that's of the highest timeline, instead of wanting the universe to just do it the way you want it. Because when we start to like control things and like, I only want this money if it comes in this specific way or something, then that's kind of like us like telling the universe, like, I don't care what the highest timeline is for me. I don't care what the bigger vision is. I want it this way. And the universe doesn't really play that game. So really what the message here is allowing yourself to be open to possibility, letting go and releasing control over how something will manifest for you. And instead of playing the how is this manifesting, narrow it down to one. Play the game of how could this manifest? Let me try and think of 25 different ways. Let me try and think of all the different ways this could come in. And then let the universe know I'm available for any of these things. this is what I'm desiring. I'm available for any of these things or something that I don't even think of. Whatever is my highest timeline, I'm ready to receive. And see what unfolds when you shift your mindset with that. If this message resonates for you, I would love to hear from you. I love chatting with you guys in my DMs on Instagram. It'll be linked in the show notes below, along with my membership. If you are unfamiliar with my membership, it is weekly support really from me. It's a membership of women who are desiring to have consistent healing, consistent support on their spiritual journeys. And we have monthly group energy healing calls. We have weekly Q&As where you can ask me questions and I'll channel support personalized to you, and a resource library full of meditations and resources that you can use along your spiritual journey to support you in manifesting the life you desire. So if you'd like to check out the membership, then that will be linked in the show notes as well. Otherwise, as always, I ask that you give me a beautiful rating on this podcast. Everyone who supports me through taking a couple minutes of their time to give a good rating, leave a nice comment, is really supportive for me and getting my word out there and getting my mission out there and letting other people hear what I have to say. So thank you so much. I appreciate you so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode.